Welcome to the Fall 2021 Nurse Education Pinning Ceremony. I'm Michael Potter. I'm faculty and with the Nurse Education Department, and I'll be directing you tonight through the program. Pinning is a very honored celebration, and it involves these students finishing the nurse education program, and it is to be applauded. That's a hint. I know quite a few of these folks kind of personally because I've had them in my clinical groups on and off throughout the time they've been here, so they all had conversations with me outside. Now, there are also speakers tonight, both faculty and students. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce first Dr. Jennifer McQuaw, who is the chair of the Nurse Education Department, for opening remarks.
Well, good afternoon, and welcome again to the Fall 2021 Pinning Ceremony. It feels so good to be able to be here together instead of having to do something virtually. We're slowly making our way back to normal. This evening is my favorite part of every semester because we celebrate the accomplishment of these graduates. I know it's something they've all been waiting for a very long time. Nursing has made significant advances since the days of Florence Nightengale. Our training requirements, our practice settings, responsibilities given to us, and the technology at the bedside are just some of the examples. Yet the attributes of what it takes to be a nurse hasn't changed. Empathy, caring, integrity, patience, curiosity, and honesty, these are the same, and in fact are more important than ever. Nurses today must be effective communicators, be flexible, be patient advocates, and have sound clinical judgment, and be able to collaborate with the healthcare team to deliver safe patient care. These graduates here tonight have worked hard and have obtained these skills and stand ready to deliver healthcare to the members of our community. Excuse me. You can ask any nursing student or graduate, and they're likely to tell you that nursing school was a journey like nothing else they've experienced. The coursework is challenging, the schedules are often exhausting, personal lives have been placed on hold temporarily as students disappeared to libraries, bedrooms, or coffee houses to study. Their journey through nursing school has certainly been one out of the ordinary and had profound challenges on many levels. During their time in the nursing program, students had to shift from face-to-face learning to an online platform and then back again. Many students had to quickly learn to manage not only their nursing coursework, but also those of children who were experiencing learning from home while tending to other family responsibilities. Many families experienced financial strains, and many students had to continue working or go back to work. And many students had to manage school after experiencing the unimaginable loss of a loved one. The temptation to give up can sometimes be overwhelming in the face of such challenges, yet these graduates chose to persevere and stay on the path and do whatever was needed to complete. I've spent most of my life as a student, and I can clearly relate to the thought that quitting seems like the best option. When I was finishing my education, I used to keep a quote on the edge of my computer screen that read something like this: "If I fall 7 times, I'll get up 8. And that was a reminder that I could do it, and I think most of these graduates can relate. Graduates, it's important to remember that a person's success is never accomplished solely on his or her own. Members of the audience, you are here tonight because you are a parent, spouse, family member, or friend, and you may have been in the background, but you are extremely important to their success. And for that, you're also recognized. Graduates, never forget to pay it forward. To care for another human being and have someone place their trust in your caregiving ability is a gift granted to only select people who dared to challenge themselves and become a nurse. My final thoughts are these. Take the opportunity to engage in innovations that affect the nursing profession, be the inspiration to your coworkers and your patients, arrive at work excited to be there, and never forget about the powerful influence you have on others as a nurse. Your journey does not end here tonight, it just takes a different route as a licensed nurse. And your future is definitely bright. Congratulations to all of you. At this time, I just want to take a moment to identify the faculty that had a big part in their success. And we have 2 ceremonies, so this is about half of the faculty. So faculty members, could you please rise to be recognized? I'd also like to take a moment to recognize the academic achievements of some of the graduates. These individuals were recently inducted into the Alpha Delta Nu, the National Honor Society of Nursing. Our chapter is the Gamma Phi chapter. Let me share with you a little about these individuals. They've maintained employment while attending nursing school. In essence, they've been managing 2 full-time jobs. They're parents and have had to juggle parenting and school responsibilities. And some have been taking additional general education courses, likely in pursuit of their bachelor's degree. And they've done so by maintaining a cumulative GPA of 3.0, a letter grade of B or higher in all their nursing courses, and have had no situations where they've had to repeat any nursing courses. So I would like for these individuals to stand and be recognized. They're wearing apricot-colored cords, which identifies their induction into the Nursing Honor Society. So again, a big congratulations to all students on your accomplishment this evening. I hope you all enjoy the rest of this ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. McGuire. And now, as promised, we're going to have a student speaker. And that student is Elizabeth Lucas. So would you come up on the stage, Elizabeth?
I'm honored to be here. I can still hear in level 1 Dr. McGuire's voice saying, "Okay, future nurses," as she proceeded to challenge us to engage in theory. As we stared back at her, we learned quickly that nursing school was unlike any schooling we had ever encountered. Nursing school would teach us persistence, sacrifice, purpose, and resilience. This was a schooling that would consistently challenge us and our readiness to act and intervene despite our differences, our personalities. We were all expected to actively participate. I don't know about you, but I learned early to volunteer answers. As we fumbled through our first few weeks with tears and uncertainty, by the end of the Med Pass, just about all of us had found a rhythm. And by spring break, we pretty much had the hang of it. For many of us, including myself, the first exam was a failure. Yet, we were expected to attend class, which taught us to wipe the dust off and immediately keep pushing. That's persistence. Nursing school would also teach us to sacrifice. We sacrificed jobs, relationships, family, events, precious moments with our children, to say the least. But we understood that just like the former Brazilian soccer Pelé says, success is no accident. It is hard work, perseverance, learning and studying, sacrifice, and most of all, to love what you are doing or learning to do. The task was at hand, and we faced it with determination and courage. By this time, we also learned what our favorite choice of caffeine would be: Red Bulls, Bangs, and the great Starbucks, which happens to be my choice. Finally, spring break arrived, and our first opportunity to take a deep breath. As we enjoyed time with family and friends away from our rigorous routine, the media became flooded with what we know now as COVID-19. I still remember the email that would shock us all. All DMC classes will be canceled. Further details ahead. Schools were closed, and our group chats were flooded with, what does this mean for us? As fear flooded our nation, we, the future nurses, were expected to fully engage and move closer to the front line of battle. We witnessed the healthcare world engage this pandemic face to face, and many questioned our commitment to the profession. Are you still sure you want to be a nurse? They asked. We thought long and hard about the challenge before we entered into school, yet now was a test of our purpose. We understood that our patients are our purpose, and the passion that brought us all this way was not smothered but ignited with even the more to complete what we started. I am certain that when we enter into this world of nursing, we will face challenging circumstances. We will often go unnoticed, underappreciated, and even at times underpaid. Nevertheless, we press forward in our purpose to serve the whole man, reminded by Maya Angelou that as nurses, we have the opportunity to heal the mind, soul, heart, and body of our patients, their families, and ourselves. They may forget our name, but they will never forget how we made them feel. While we were notified to resume campus online, we all juggled this sudden change with anxiety and frustration due to other obstacles such as homeschooling our children, online clinical simulations, unemployment, and even falling ill to the virus ourselves. As fall of 2020 rolled in, we held our breaths as we received the emails that stated we would be required to complete both levels 2 and 3, which is a 16-week course in half the time. We were required to do this with 3 days to reset. This entailed graded exams and quizzes every week, full participation, and graded assignments. The time was yet shortened, and the load remained heavy. As we adapted to the technology and virtual interaction, the mountain we climbed remained steep and the margins were slim. Halfway into the fall, we were permitted to do a soft return to campus for 1 lab a week in which we would remain 6 feet apart. The one stipulation, I still wake up in a panic, is the mandatory COVID quizzes. But to put you all at ease, guys, you can now cancel your alarms. We made it. For the first time in history, the Del Mar nursing program, both spring graduates and our cohort were required to do the undone. What was required of us was without a doubt a heavy laden task. And what this task has created is the class of resilience. We are the resilient ones. Class of 2021, know who you are. Dr. Stephen Southwick wrote, most of us think of resilience as the ability to bend but not break, bounce back, and perhaps even grow in the face of adverse life experiences. And the American Psychological Association defines resilience as the process of adapting well in the face of adversity, trauma, tragedy, threats, or even significant sources of stress. In this concept-based course, we are taught that we must first evaluate our own beliefs of ourselves when faced with healthcare difficulties. I want to remind you while doing this to know you are resilient. As the soft return to campus improves, We returned to clinical as a team. We offered to participate in the vaccination clinic all over Nueces County. We gladly approached clinicals, excited to meet face-to-face, or should I say mask-to-mask. We finally felt like true nursing students as we assisted with births in the labor and delivery unit, or as we responded to a code in our ICU rotations. For me, it was when I first inserted an IV. This was our moment of truth, but nothing could be more surreal than us standing here with our families, our dedicated faculty who demonstrated true professionalism and flexibility in standing side by side one another. To our family and our friends and our sponsors, you are our backbones. Like the spine, you held us into place. And to our faculty, you are the lady with the lamp in our time, lighting the way for us as we behold the journey ahead. We watched you adapt to change and lead with diligence and commitment. We are honored to have traveled this road with you. And for the class of 2021, class of resilience, let's go save some lives.
Thank you, Ms. Lucas. And thank you for your speech. Now we're going to do what we came here to do. But before I start that, we're going to have the faculty members who I talked to earlier. I'm going to go ahead and have them come up on the stage. While they're doing that, I'm going to explain a couple of things to you. We're going to proceed with the pinning itself, and the students are going to be called to the stage one by one. They will walk up on the right stairwell. That's stairwell. I already explained that to them. As they come on the stage, they will be pinned. Then they will cross over. They'll come right in front of the stage, right in front here. They'll come over, and then right behind me at the table, that's the Nightingale lamp. They'll go ahead and pick up a lamp, and then what they will do is they will go and sit in one of these chairs, okay? And again, there's a reason for that, and I won't go into it. All right. Once all of the classmates have been called up, at that point in time, I'll go ahead and call for the recitation of the Nightingale Pledge, and then there'll be a student that'll come up over here and start it off. But for right now, let's go ahead and start with the first student, and that would be Corin Aguia. What I also didn't mention, we have some cards that they've filled out, and we're going to read some things about her. She's going to be working for Spawn South, Christus Spawn South, on the postpartum unit, and she intends to go ahead and continue on with her education to become a bachelor's in nursing. Christy Alanis. She's going to work for Doctors Regional on the neurology unit, and then she is also pursuing her bachelor's in nursing with Galen College. Victoria Alejandro. Feel free to shoot any photos you want at any time. Victoria says she's going to work for the Bay Area Institution on the antepartum unit, and she is going to continue to obtain her BSN. She didn't tell us where, though. Felicia Avalos. Felicia is presently employed with Driscoll's Children's Emergency Room, and she intends to continue with her BSN also. Jennifer Elaine Bernardini. Jennifer is employed with the Coastal Bend Cancer Center, and she has a message that she wants to say. Thank you, Georgie, for leading me on this path. It's all in your honor. Thank you, family and friends, for keeping me sane. Love you all. Raquel Bunsey. Raquel makes a statement. She says that she wants to give God all the glory for my accomplishments. Thank you. Todd, I want to thank you because without you, I would not have this opportunity to be a nurse. To my children, Alan, Justin, Sophia, and Troy, you are where you are my driving force to finish. I love you. Thank you, Mom. Thank you for picking up the pieces. Without you, I could not have finished nursing school. I love you. Thank you to all my family and friends who have helped me along the way. You know who you are. Thank you. Amanda Burns. Amanda says she works on a med-surg unit, which is medical surgical unit, for those of you who don't know. Sierra Carrasquillo. Probably messed that name up, but that's okay. She told me that was going to happen anyway. Delegate operation. Sarah works for Bay Area CVICU. That's a cardiovascular intensive care unit. She intends to go to Galen College for her future education. Caitlin Castro. Caitlin works for Spawn Children's Hospital in San Antonio. And her last statement is yes, so I think that means that she's going to pursue her education. Oh, I see. She added a second one. She's in the BSN program, University of Texas at Arlington. Marla Cadillo. Marla works for Doctors Regional Hospital in an IMU unit, and she plans to pursue her BSN. Candace Chapa. Candace is employed with Christus Spawn Alice Emergency Department, and she intends to continue with her BSN at UT Arlington. Savannah Lee Diaz. And Savannah is pursuing her higher education at UT Arlington for the BSN. Savannah D. Escalante. Savannah apparently has a position with Doctors Regional Emergency Room. Yes, she continues to want to have her BSN through Delmar College. And she has a personal note. This is for you, Jaden, and my family. I love you guys so much. Amanda Foster. Amanda writes that she's going to be with Bay Area Hospital, Labor and Delivery, and that she intends to continue on with her education at Galen College. Allison A. Garcia. And Allison will be accepting a position at Christus Spawn in the newborn nursery department. Christine Geisler. And Christine states that she has a job at Christus Spawn Physical Rehab. She plans to earn a BSN at Delmar, and her last statement is, "It's never too late." Nicole Herrera. And Nicole is employed with Christus Spawn South Women's Services. Higher education, she says yes, and she's going to go to Texas A&M CC, Corpus Christi. And oh, by the way, she wants you to add that you can't be successful without trying. Katie Knapp. Katie will be working for Driscoll Hospital Oncology Hematology Unit, and she intends to pursue her BSN. She doesn't say where. And she wants to thank her parents, Ryan, and my friends for supporting me and helping me make it through. Angela Killian. Angela states she would like to give God all the glory and she thanks her husband, Vance, who we've heard from tonight, and to my dad for always believing in me. I will be working at Bay Area Hospital in the CVICU. I plan on continuing my education with Galen University. To all my 3 children, this is for you. Mercedes Lacour. Mercedes works for Driscoll Children's Hospital. The unit she's on is the peri-anesthesia unit. She plans to continue on and obtain a bachelor's in nursing. Esmeralda Garza. Ezra is working for Corpus Christi Medical Center, Bay Area Labor and Delivery. She intends to continue on with her BSN with Galen University School of Nursing, and she states that she could not have done this without God's guidance and the help of my friends and family. Thank you. Elizabeth Danielle Lucas. Elizabeth is going to work for Bay Area Hospital in the CVICU. Her higher education goals are to become a CRNA, which is a certified registered nurse anesthetist. She states that she wants to give all the glory to Jesus Christ. Taylor, thank you for holding my hand through it all. Batima and Catalea, this is for you. Mom, all your prayers paid for and paid off. Dad, thank you for holding me down. Crystal, Bobby, Asa, and Jalissa, the best is yet to come. It is finished. Interesting statements. All right. Now we come to a interesting part of the program. This is where we're now going to be Janelle Castro. We had a last minute. And Janelle states that she's going to pursue her BSN at the University of Texas at Arlington. Okay, let me double check to make sure there's not anybody else out there. All right. At this time, we're going to next call up the recitation of the Nightingale Pledge. The students have the Nightingale Pledge with them. This is an integral part of pinning, and we always do this. So what I will do now is call Victoria Alejandro up to the podium. She's going to lead off the students in the pledge. And if the students will stand.
I solemnly pledge myself before God and in the presence of this assembly to pass my life in purity and to practice my profession faithfully. I will abstain from whatever is delirious, mischievous, and will not take or knowingly administer any harmful drug. I will do all in my power to maintain and elevate the standard of my profession, and I will hold in confidence all the personal matters committed to keeping and all my family affairs coming to my knowledge in the practice of my calling. With loyalty will I endeavor to aid the physician in his work and devote myself to the welfare of those committed to my care.
If you need to have a photo op now, go ahead and shoot. We all listed the longest part. While we're waiting for that, I also want to recognize two other people, which is Candace Chapa, who was the vice president of the pinning organization, and Savannah Diaz, who was the secretary to the pinning organization. Both of them were very integral. We'll have the president at another ceremony coming up, but I wanted to recognize both these ladies. So this is now the end of the ceremony. I want you all in the audience to please remain seated while the students exit the stage. They'll be leaving their lamps and their pledges, but they'll going out into that foyer area. So